We acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians of the Adelaide region, and we pay our respects to all elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to Behind the Content podcast with myself, Lex.
And me, Mads.
Both experts in content creation with a combined 16 years of experience.
Join us as we bring you behind the scenes of our lives as business owners, deep diving into the rise of iPhone wedding content, aligning with your purpose, the wedding industry and everything in between.
You'll hear from industry experts, talented creators, as well as couples sharing their journeys and insights from their own weddings.
Get comfy and let's grow together as we cover all things wedding content and more weekly.
We are back.
Welcome to episode 3.
4.
4.
4. Episode 4. Good times.
Good times.
Let's get into some card reading.
Yeah.
So good.
We're gonna
Am I gonna do the shuffle
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Okay. So if you didn't listen to the last episode, we did some angel cards readings.
And these are for us and for you. This is like just motivation for the week.
That's right. Okay. So I will spread them. It's a regular Friday night, you know.
It is. We should have a glass of wine.
Okay. Pick a card. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay.
Oh.
What have you got for me?
Have we got some negative
everyone.
people?
Negativity.
Ooh.
Oh, what number's that?
I think it's a positive version of the negativity.
Okay.
Hopefully.
What number?
17.
17.
Do you know what? I've never got this card before.
Are you sure?
I always get
Oh, wait, hold on.
I always get hydrate.
Hydrate.
Yeah, it just says drink water.
Oh, yeah. Hydrate.
Hydrate.
All right. Negative feelings are a natural part of the human experience. Grief and anger are ordinary, healthy reactions to the loss of a loved one, to someone mistreating you, or when life sends you spiraling out of control. When you are emotionally healthy, you can acknowledge your feelings without becoming stuck in a negative spiral. When a challenge comes along, many people have a default mechanism that automatically goes to the worst case scenario. Well,
Me.
yes. For example, you could become overly concerned that a small mistake at work will cost you your job, or a thoughtless comment will end a relationship and you will end up lonely forever. Wow. One of the best ways to heal negativity is to focus on the positives. It may take baby steps to bring this healing about. Your every thought, word and behaviour has a huge impact on your overall health. True. Take steps to consciously monitor your pessimism. Interrupt your negative thoughts with positive ones. It may take time, but gradually you will train yourself to let go of the negative. A fairy lies under a tree with her arm across her forehead, portraying depletion and distress.
It is very pretty.
The hand on her head draws attention to worry and mental activity. The mushrooms surrounding the fairy symbolise the human soul's ability to grow through darkness. That's really cute.
That is nice.
The task at hand may seem overwhelming, but you have the fortitude to change the outcome. I fucking love that.
I love that. Look how pretty it is.
Yeah, she's like, oh my gosh.
And the little mushrooms have smiley faces on them.
That's usually what happens when you have shrooms, I think. Yeah, but I absolutely love that. Like, one of the best ways to heal negativity is to focus on the positives. Like, yes, I agree. And I think sometimes it is a matter of people are like, oh, toxic positivity and all this shit. But I think, like, you have to change the way that your brain is an automatic, you know, it goes down the 6-lane highway of the negative thought spiral.
Yeah, all the things that, like worrying about things that are going to happen that might not even happen and stuff. Like, that's just...
Yeah, you're actually worshipping the problem and worshipping the thing that you don't want. Like, you're thinking about and potentially manifesting the thing that you don't want. So think about the best case scenario, the best outcome. Yes, you need to have, I think, worst case scenario as more of a protection thing and more like, you know, just in case, you'll know what to do and trust yourself. But I think wishing for what you want and what not rather than what you don't want. Yeah, focus.
So important.
You focus on things and you'll find them
in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Love
What's
it.
meant for you is going to come.
Yeah.
Yay,
where your attention goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
Excellent. So today we're going to be talking about our skill sets and breaking that down. So obviously Mads and I have different histories and different paths that we've been on to get to this point in our careers and in our businesses. So I think this will be an interesting conversation to have, to go through what we each bring to the table when it comes to talking about this kind of stuff and the expertise, obviously, because you might not know us from a bar of soap.
Yeah.
So
and
this
also,
gives you some context.
When it finishes, like, we want to hear your stories. Tell us how you got into content. Like,
was it similar? Was it different?
Yeah.
Was it totally just like by accident?
Yep. Most of us. All right.
So Maddie, why don't
You want me to go first?
You know, I go between Maddie and Mads.
Mads.
Do you have a preference?
Do you know
We've got Mads on
I show up
the
to
podcast.
weddings and it's my fault because I'm Madeline Ergo Photography, and someone will say, "Hey, Madeline," and I'm like,
Madeline?
"I'm in trouble. Did I do something wrong?" So I love Mads. Mads is like my go-to, but not everyone says Mads, so Maddie is fine.
Have you seen House Bunny? With
Do I remind you of a house?
no.
Bunny?
I just did that thing when it was like that scene, and she's like, Natalie. You know, do you remember that? Yeah, and she's trying to remember the names. It's like Madeline.
Yes, and it works though.
It's so funny, and
I
love oh my God, what's her name?
It's a good movie.
Amy Farris.
Yep.
Is that her name?
I think so.
Anna Faris. Yeah, Anna Faris.
Anna.
Anna.
I think
It's Anna.
so. Yeah.
Anyway,
I also do the also 10 times. Maddie. I do that to my nephew.
so do you want Maddie or Mads?
I'm Mads on the podcast. Let's go Mads.
All right, Mads.
Whatever you feel like.
She's Rads.
Do you want Lex
Mads
or
from
Lexi?
Rads. Lex, yeah.
Lex.
Yeah. Lexi just like sounds. You know what? I think people over the age of 45 call me Lexi. That's just the thing that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And then Lex is like my
similar.
preferred, I guess.
Yeah.
Just sounds cooler. I don't know. Lexi sounds very
It makes me
American.
feel cool.
Like
Yes,
Lexi,
Lexi.
from Bold and Beautiful or some
Yes.
shit. So, yeah. Or you could say Alexia, which is also
Alexia.
the like Australian way to say my name is Alexia. The Greek way to say my name is Alexia, because there's a
Alexia.
accent on the I.
I like that.
Yes, so technically my name is Alexia.
That's so sensual. Alexia.
It's very full on, and when Joshua says it, I'm like, what is... I don't know. It's weird.
I'm
Just say
not
Lex, thank you.
This is weird now.
Okay. Anywho,
This is so weird.
Mads' skill sets. Let's
Okay. Well,
get into it.
so started in early learning. So I think I'm going to start with that because I feel like a lot
Okay.
of my nurturing side with couples and being able to
Soft
like
skills.
connect people and it's just, and even when kids are at weddings and stuff, I can help them and make the whole family and stuff feel really seen and safe. I love being able to just do that. So I think I relate that to my childcare history. And then the rest, like I was also in leadership positions, so leading, not that you're leading the day in content, but now like having a team, like being able to lead a team and stuff, that all probably came from leadership skills in there.
Totally.
And then photo is just helped so much, like through the roof, because I've been able to learn like lighting, like where to turn couples.
What looks natural.
Like back to the sun so their faces are all lit well if it's possible. And like,
how did you
framing.
get into photography? Like, did you have to do a course or anything? How did you learn how to do that?
Podcasts
Yeah.
and YouTube and second shooting.
So you're giving back.
Yeah.
We give back now.
Literally, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, how about you?
Wow.
Well, yeah, I know. How'd you learn?
We'll get into it.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll stick with
Sorry,
you.
I'm like natural conversation.
I know. No, but yeah, it's always interesting because I never know how photographers start out. Like traditionally, they would have had to do things at uni or TAFE, do courses.
A lot do. I don't think I know.
I guess the
many
entry level is so
photographers.
different.
Yeah, I just kind of. Yeah, I'm still learning like as I go, and I'll openly say to people that say that they went to TAFE and did all this schooling that they are so much more knowledgeable than me in so many areas. But I just bring a lot of feeling into it, and like naturally just feel like I want to capture everything. And I've taught myself how to do things well from putting in the time. Like it wasn't like I just sat there and watched one video. I was literally every single day after work, like doing huge all-nighters and just teaching, learning.
What was the pull? What was the draw card like for you to go from early learning to do that with your spare time after work? Like, how did you do that?
Well, I came from more like a business mindset of this career wasn't going any further.
In early learning?
Like I was at the top of where I wanted to go, and the early learning sector can be very unhappy. Like a lot of educators don't get paid well. They don't like their job. Like it takes a really good centre to really bring it up. And I loved where I worked, but it was just...
It's a stressful environment.
And I didn't, like it's just naturally a stressful place because you've got kids hanging off you all the time and you want them to have the best day ever, but when you're the only one with a lot of children, it can be hard sometimes.
Wow.
And then I thought I took a couple photo shoots and was always taking videos and photos for like the businesses and doing reels and stuff. And everyone was always saying how much they loved them. The parents were obsessed. And I was like, this is so cool. I should do this for a job, like as an add-on, like a side money hustle. Yeah. Started a side hustle, started a family shoot, side hustle. And then everyone was frothing it and loving it so much. And I was like, wow, this could actually go somewhere. And then met some amazing wedding vendors, and Brady from my wedding as well, like supported me heaps with like his camera and stuff. And just like, how could I not go in that direction? So, yeah.
Very cool.
Here we are. Yeah. Timelines and like knowing how a day runs, that came from photography. Like I was just so easy to just slip in and figure that out. That was...
Yeah, I feel like they're very similar.
They are.
We would go off of the photographer's timeline 100%.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't have one.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, like when are things happen? Well, you have to then... Why would you have two separate timelines? Because it's one document, so much easier for the couple to figure out as well.
Yeah.
And just
if
go
you've
off
never been in the wedding industry, you probably wouldn't think that that's a necessity. But from being a photographer, that really helped me. Yeah. Prompts, like prompting. So like I said in the previous episode about how if it goes blank or someone goes blank or it's a quiet moment, having prompts in my mind that I know how to move things along or like offer some support
Creativity.
where I can. Yeah. I feel like some of my creators, like the girls, have also learned how to do that just from watching me as a photographer, which is so super cool. Because they're just like mini menu logs, not menu logs, bank logs in my head.
Did somebody say menu log?
Again, like collaborating with the media team, that was all natural because the jobs are very similar. Like I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a lot because content and photography are not similar, but
the product is different.
The products are different.
The service is
so similar. Yeah. So a lot of the service, it was just so natural. I didn't even feel like I was building a second business because it just happened. I just opened it up and everything was already in place.
When did you make the decision? Like what was your kind of marker for, this isn't a side hustle anymore, I want to go full in and quit my job? Like where was that for you at that time? When
I realised, I think honestly for me, it was after probably the second or third wedding where couples were requesting it. Once people were requesting content and I wasn't just doing it as a free thing, I was like, okay, this is the moment. And double weddings, like when there's multiple jobs coming in for the same day and stuff, that one was for content, one was for photo. I was like, if I book a photo job, I don't want to have to say no to a content job.
What about going even further back from early learning to photography? Yeah. How did you know when to quit that job? That was actually tricky because Robbie also started his business that year and I wanted to leave then that time. And we both made the agreement, probably both of us going out on our own for the first year probably isn't a good idea. Yeah, that's hard. He went out and then by the time the second year rolled around, I was well and truly ready to just... So you were doing a full year, 2 years of photography? Yeah. Before you actually made it a full-time job? Yeah. Wow.
Well, but not constant because I was still working full time. So it wasn't like every week and I was working a wedding. I was like kind of...
Shit still though.
Yeah. But I spent a lot of time learning in that time. Like that was when I was doing my all-nighters and really all the time listening to podcasts, and the girls I work with were amazing and they were always like, oh my God, all you talk about is photos. Yeah. They like...
Your passion.
Yeah. They were so supportive when I left. So that was great. It was just time.
Yeah. You kind of... I think it's that taking the leap of faith.
Yeah. It's sure.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Going from side hustle to full-time is a big jump, but it is so necessary sometimes because you're just going to give yourself more capacity
100%
to put all of your time and energy into something that's going to grow. Like where you put your energy, that it'll grow more. Where you water something, the grass becomes greener. So I think it's important for people to know that, where you started coming from working in photography as that side hustle, and how what does it look like to go from quitting your job and making it official that you're like going all in and balls deep kind of thing.
Exactly. And it's so different for everyone because I know that when I left my job, most people probably wouldn't have been ready to quit their full-time job, but Robbie was so supportive, and he's like, you've got to do this. And
You need a supportive partner, yeah.
yeah, no regrets now. Like, it was, I said that first year, this is so scary. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be doing this. And that was the worst thoughts to be putting in my head, because I've seen the growth. Like, it is building. So I'm just glad that, just take the leap, guys.
Yeah.
Safely. Obviously, if you have to earn an income, you have to earn an income.
Figure out what your baseline for
Yeah.
living is.
I think I said before I want to quit my job, I want to be earning at least $80,000.
Damn.
And I looked at that reflection the other day. I was like,
I mean, that's a good
big
goal to have, obviously, when you're first starting out. But first, be realistic. Like,
realistic.
just know what you need to do if you're like paying a mortgage and buying groceries. Like, what is your bare minimum income that you need every month?
Yeah.
And also for wedding season, like, it is going to be on and off. You know, you'll have 6 to 8 months of working your fucking ass off, and then 3 to 4 months of dead city, a ghost town.
Yeah.
So knowing to charge accordingly for not even just to live during that time, but to then live during the cold months, during the hibernation
100%.
period, because it is going to be quiet.
It will be quiet. And
Especially
that's
if it's
also
a
why it's good
full-time
to have 50% deposits and stuff,
Yes.
so you're not just getting paid once. You spread
Cash
out
flow
throughout
is
the year.
real.
Yeah, it's important.
And make it important for yourself, and then have a reserve for those winter months, especially. Otherwise, if you go overseas, obviously you could keep working all year.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone needs a bit of a break as
Everyone
well.
needs a break. It's a
So
great opportunity to work on marketing and advertising.
when you're starting out as a photographer and as a content creator, what did that look like for the types of couples that were coming your way?
So some...
And how did you weed that out,
Yeah. So a lot was, I started on Facebook being like, hey, I can do a free shoot if you want a free shoot. And then for a wedding, I think I did my first wedding very cheap. But real content, I don't think I did. I think I did maybe 1 or 2 free jobs. I was very quick into starting to charge. I'd already been doing it for a while. But with photos, that's a different story because I did do more of those. And then the couples just slowly, as my prices got a bit higher, the couples started, like the types of weddings I wanted to be shooting, and everything got higher as well.
Absolutely. And I think the more that they are going to, you're going to price yourself out of some people.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing.
Which is, it's not terrible. And, sometimes it is nice to be the person that you can help out a couple that, are having a lower budget situation or what's going on.
And sometimes that it is really beneficial if you get an opportunity to do something for free, and no, doing free things all the time isn't good, but you've got to weigh it up. Like sometimes there's a really good opportunity and you should take it. And sometimes it will be a wrong mistake and sometimes it'll be a really good opportunity. So
like I've worked a specific, when I started out, I reached out to 3 like influencers in Adelaide who had recently gotten engaged, and I was like, hey, like, can I do your 4 hours of content for free for your wedding? And three of them said yes. One of them is actually getting married in Sri Lanka, so didn't get to do her wedding, obviously. But the other 3, I ended up working. One of them, she added on time, so she added on to her package the 4 hours. So we were able to work for 4 hours for free, obviously, and then she wanted more, so that was great. So we were able to get some money, obviously, through that. And another creator did that job because I actually was working. I'm not working. I was a guest at a wedding that day. Otherwise, I would have done it. But then the other jobs I ended up doing for free, and then I did I think for one of them I stayed until 11 o'clock. So I ended up doing a 9-hour day for free. However, from that wedding, so the amount of follows we got just from this particular creator influencer from that day was wild. Just because her influence is very specific to Adelaide and within the bridal industry. And also just her wedding was fucking stunning. She had Gretel doing her photos, and she had Kelly from KMS doing her video. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful media team to work with. It was at Lamar's, at Barossa. It was just stunning. The whole event was beautiful. So it was really great for me to have that content, but also to... I got 2 Europe weddings just from being at that wedding, because one of the bridesmaids and one of the guests were both getting married overseas later that year. Yeah. And that's how I got 2 of my 5 Europe weddings because they actually saw me in action. So even though I worked for like 8 or 9 hours for free, it paid off in
it comes
dividends.
Back tenfold.
Yeah, tenfold, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I get what you mean about like working for free.
Yeah.
And
like honestly, if a really good opportunity comes up, even how the business is going now, I probably wouldn't completely say no. Like I'd still consider it. So no matter how far you get in your business, I think always just keep an open mind.
What's the cost benefit analysis? Yeah. You know, is it going to be worth it for you or someone to work for free to get what you want out of it, and think about what you want, because otherwise you're just going to be disappointed with the results. Or
and that works for suppliers too. Like sometimes if someone scratches your bag, you can scratch theirs. Like they want to offer you professional photos, or if you need something, which like for our shoot the other day, I'm sure like we can go do stuff for them. We did content for them, so it was just
exactly. And for my wedding
and for your wedding.
Being an industry a supplier and then doing a wedding, it's it pays off.
Pays off.
I mean, nothing is for free, obviously, but you get looked after, which is amazing. So good times. Is there anything else you want to add to your skills as a photographer? I think just speak volumes anyway, as someone that can go from photography into content is such a nice it's a natural kind of movement. I think, like you said, it's a very similar way in the service, obviously, but having the skill set of knowing your lighting, your framing, particular things that you need to direct the couples on, and being able to find the moments and find the feeling and the emotion.
How to make people feel like it's just
it translates exactly, especially into a photo. Like you can feel a photo. So video is a lot easier to convey emotion. Photo is not. So I think you've done you've kind of gone through the harder way, but it's good because you've gone the easy, hard road gets easier and the easy road gets harder. So
every stepping stone has a reason. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
You just remember how you look back in life and you're like, oh, that's why that happened. And I just love those moments.
Exactly. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So I think your skills in that, already speak to the audience of, people that might not be in the content game for long, or they don't come from photography or come from wedding background. So this is very valuable information. Cool.
Thanks. Now your turn.
My skill set is slightly different to yours.
Which is good. We like different.
Yeah. I come from a marketing background. So I studied journalism at uni and professional writing. So I actually come from copywriting and ad copy, advertising, that kind of realm. So out of uni, I got my full-time job working for an ad agency here in Adelaide, one of the bigger ones, and worked there for about 14 months. Actually got made redundant. Fun times. I've spoken about that actually in my podcast as well. Full story there. But like you said, every stepping stone has a reason. That was a massive catalyst into me just doing my own thing. So at the time, it was like the fucking pits. I hated it. I was 23. I was turning 24. Actually, it was this... Shit, it would have been like this time, like last week. Oh, how many years ago now? What was 2018? 2019. No? 2019. Yeah. Long time ago. 6 years.
Long time.
6 years ago. 6 years ago, almost to the day.
Wow.
I finished that job, and then I was working freelance. So I was just working under my own ABN. I reached out. I had done through my uni career, a lot of networking with the media people in Adelaide, a lot of bloggers, lots of blogs out at that time, 2015 onwards. So we're going to events and reviews, menus, fucking restaurants, all this stuff. I was writing, really working on my my craft through that time for free. So I was working for 4 years for free as a writer for this blog called This is Radelaide. It does not exist anymore, but good times. So shout out to Rads. So that's how I started out, and working for free while at uni. And then I got this full-time job straight away because of that free work that I did, and they loved my writing.
Amazing.
Worked there, did website copy, ads, social media, captions. That's when I started doing social media copy. And then I obviously got made redundant, went into freelance, and then was just working at the Tizer a little bit, just messaging people and a lot of the PR agencies here, getting them to, if they had clients that needed help with socials or blogs or whatever. I was taking anything and everything at that point, working for chump change.
Yeah.
And then my mate actually said, why don't you build your own brand? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll go work for someone else. This is like 2020, just before COVID. And he's like, yeah, you should do it. And I was like, okay. And he used to call me
Did you
Lexicon.
have that internal feeling of like, I want to just work for myself? Like I want work-life balance, not just for the balance, but also just to not have to answer. And
I was working for myself for a year already.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, if I really wanted to get it, because I was looking on Seek and everything, and there's really no jobs for copywriters, even now. So it was hard, but I was just like, oh, maybe it is easier if I just do this myself. And he said, you should have a brand. So I think branding is really important. That's actually where I base a lot of my skill set in branding and messaging and the copy and those kinds of things, what you kind of drill down into.
Yeah.
But basically starting Lexicon, which is my first, actually technically my second business. My first business was back in 2017 doing dress hire. 808 Threads, if anyone knows. Australia's first curvy dress hire, 12 sizes 12 to 22.
Oh, good.
Ran that for 3 years, and then COVID kind of stopped that, which is fair because I was kind of going, it was crossing over from and that was my side hustle as well while I was working full time. So Thursday nights, Saturdays, I've always been doing something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that kind of finished around COVID time in March 2020, and then 5 years ago. And then I went into freelancing, did Lexicon, and then was just doing that on my own for a year and a half. Wow. And then I hired my first person. Anyway, so long story short, we're here now.
We're here.
Lexicon will be 5 years in May. And we do social media management and content creation. That is the main source. Actually, through COVID is where I went from used to do solely copywriting through into social media management and content, because people really needed to bring their services online, bring them on social, and attract people through social media. So that was my main focus. So growing the social media management and content side of things was just happened organically, and focusing on organic content and growing my team. Went and worked at a co-working spot, and then obviously just growing from there, working in a co-working space, I think with other creatives just makes things so much easier. And it just, even though you're paying to like go somewhere, it's like you're putting shoes on going to work. I mean, I was working from home before COVID and it was shit. And then, blurring the lines between working from home and working on the couch, it does not end well.
No.
If you're looking to co-work, like, come to West Palms.
And it makes you like get out of bed, and
it just, you put a bra on, you put your shoes on, and it's like your brain is like, fucking yes, we're on, let's fucking go, work time, take myself seriously,
a little bit of makeup, feel a little bit pretty,
literally. So that's kind of where I grew from this zero to where I'm at now, running 3 businesses. Good times. And a podcast. Bad. So good. I love it. And I love all my business babies. But content creation kind of grew from there and became our main focus for Lexicon. And as I mentioned in our first episode, I think we were working for a venue through weddings and looking at wedding vendors and connecting with them. And I was really trying to push people to do reels when reels were just starting out as a thing. So we were able to, I was able to teach people and do workshops, and I did, it was so cool, being able to show people how to use Instagram, especially at the time, like back in 3 years ago now. And I actually did my first Reels workshop with a wedding supplier group called Unbridely here in Adelaide. Shout out to Camille. So I did that in May 2022. Wow. And that was really exciting and very nerve-wracking for me. It was a 3-hour workshop just for Reels, and I think we had about 45.
That's so cool.
45 wedding suppliers. So that's where I met a lot of wedding suppliers in Adelaide for the first time that I now know. And just spoke, talked about different things and settings and how to capture content and how to edit and using the back end of Instagram and all this stuff. And then I got to kind of go around the room and, everyone left with a reel that day. That was what I wanted to do. So I was like, do you have content, like bring, with you ready to go, some photos or videos?
These were really, they were so cute. Because I was like, I watched them all come out on socials, and then I was like, everyone did a reel. That is amazing.
That
and they
was
were
like
good. They weren't crap reels. They were great.
It was so cool. And I think they video recorded it as well and shared it to people who couldn't come. So it was amazing. And it was amazing to actually like get paid for something like doing that. So it was very kind of like a bit of like, I guess, squishing the imposter syndrome at that time. And this was 3 years ago. Reels have changed since then. But we do, I mean, me and my team, we do content every day, like for our businesses that we work with and brands. And I know what works and what doesn't work. And sometimes, you know, our clients come and go, mainly if they're not into, you know, growing and doing brand stuff or wanting to harness on their messaging or knowing what their brand foundation is.
Yes.
I know what I can kind of almost predict how far this client is going to go with us because they're just like rigid or not willing to adapt, not willing to come on camera, put face to camera. So important. So yeah, talking about weddings and knowing the wedding supply industry as that social media expert in a way, from 3 years ago, then coming into wedding content, it was very seamless. It kind of just made sense. Yeah, it was very seamless. It made a lot of sense at the time. So when I was first kind of thinking about doing the wedding creators, one of my business partners in West Palms, Dave Pascoe, he was a wedding photographer for 10 years. And that's where we met co-working back in Norwood in 2022.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, and I asked him as a wedding photographer, I was like, hey, so what would piss you off if I did this? Like, if I was a wedding content creator, this is what it is, explained it to him. And actually we worked with a wedding videographer as well next door to us in our office. And I asked him what he thought would be annoying and what are all the things that could go wrong and what's going to happen. So basically did all of my due diligence with them, did my due diligence with other wedding suppliers as well, and thinking, okay, I kind of just went to market, almost did my market research beforehand. Wedding content was still very new, very no one knows what the fuck it was either, especially early 2023.
But you didn't just come in all guns blazing, like you actually...
No, I was very... it was very calculated in a good way that I could speak to wedding suppliers and just get to know what would be good and what would be beneficial and what would be disadvantageous. So that way I could basically get all of my answers straight away. And I could get the knowledge that I didn't have to go through and have those shit experiences and whatever and learn from from the mistakes. I wanted to read their minds first and foremost before
and these
kind
are
of launching
the reason why we have backup plans. Like you expect the worst, but then also hope for the best. So
exactly,
you went in, you weren't opposed to bad things happening because you knew mistakes are going to happen.
And it was a new thing, so I was still figuring it out, and everyone else was figuring it out too. So I had some grace for them as well to be like, okay, I just went in softly and was like, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm not saying, should I do this? I wasn't asking for permission. I'll make that very clear. I wasn't asking for permission. I was just saying, this is what I'm doing, letting you know, giving you some, priming them again.
How can we work together?
Working together. And just we're all on a team here. So, okay, I'm in a new position. I'm a new player on this team. What can I do to help? That was my motivation and my approach. And I think that was well received, hopefully. From the feedback that I got, it was really well received. I went on the Unbridely podcast and did it was a very new content thing as well. So I was able to go in there and give education and explain to suppliers and couples, what a wedding content creator is.
Yes.
Yeah. And now we can do it here in more depth. So that's kind of where my skill sets come from, is mainly marketing and journalism, and going into branding and looking at how content is really important to speak to your brand and vice versa, and basically knowing how to market my business online and helping wedding suppliers do that. And from there, learning and seeing what couples are attracted to and what kind of couples I wanted to attract as well. And obviously going from social media and content into wedding content was very, very seamless. So good times. So that's my skill set breakdown basically.
So deep, and you can see how it really is affecting the business in such a positive way.
And it's been cool, but you do have to put so much time into it. I know what to do for brands, and then sometimes it's you're looking at your own brand and you're like, what am I doing?
10 tasks.
When should I post? Or what should I say? Or this and that. And it's like, oh man, you have to actually remove yourself from your brand in a way.
I love your reminders though. have you posted this week? Or
On Lexicon,
Like, keep me accountable.
Reminder, you don't actually need to like think of new things to post all the time.
Yeah.
Repurpose. Because I always say this to my clients, like how much content, how much information have you consumed in one day, let alone a week, let alone a month? Like,
do you remember it all?
No. Like, but you are fed so much. I mean, what is it? Through NLP stuff, you're fed 2 million bits of information.
2 million
is thrown at you, and you can only take in 5 to 6 bits of information at any second. So 2 million bits of information are coming at you every second in how to just being here. Like, what are you focusing on? What are you thinking of?
Yeah.
That's going to fall in like the 5 to 6 things that you can consume in the space of a second.
Yes.
You will see something completely different to the person next to you. It's like when you're going to see a movie and the person next to you could hate it and you loved it.
Yeah.
It's because you were experiencing 2 different movies, really, because through your lens and through your perspective, you were experiencing different things.
Yeah, 100%.
So, sorry, went a bit on.
And everyone takes different things from different
your perspective, your experiences in life, how you operate, how you communicate, those are all factors that come into
and what stage you're
perception.
at. I think that's why it's so good as well with us being on the different paths. Like, there's people that will relate to you and then people that will relate to me.
Absolutely.
And then take best of both worlds.
Yeah. So good. So content into weddings, that's kind of my bread and butter.
Amazing.
And branding. So we'll be talking about those kinds of things and marketing yourself as a wedding content creator.
Yep.
And also for couples, like what to look for in wedding content creators and all those
do your
fun
research.
Things. Yeah. Red flags and green flags. So
green flags only.
So that is pretty much it for me. The one thing I will say is branding is everything. So have a good business name.
Brand, business.
Just try to look at yourself as a third party perspective, give yourself actual feedback and, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Literally.
Check your spelling and your grammar, please.
Yeah. And when you show up to a wedding, you are your branding as well. It's not all digital. It's not all online.
And anyone that you contract out as well is a reflection of your brand. So be very specific with who you hire.
Yes.
And they represent you. So, you're going to need to really drill down into your branding is everything external and internal. Communication-wise, emails, texts, your people that reflect you.
You need to be able to
your
trust
uniform, them. how they present themselves or how you present yourself, how you look, down to the actual content that is delivered at the end of the day, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. I think we covered everything.
Yeah. Good times.
I'm happy.
Love that. Short, sharp and shiny.
Short, sharp and shiny.
Cool. Well, we will see you on the next episode. But
bye.
Again, if you have questions or if you have stories that you want to share or insights.
Questions. I love questions.
We love questions. We'll answer your Q&As as well. You can send us a DM on Instagram at behindthecontent.pod. You can also email us at behindthecontentpod@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify,
like, subscribe,
Apple,
love, everything.
Subscribe, do all the things, and give us your ratings.
Yay!
We want to see some
Thanks
5
for tuning
stars.
in again. Yes, 5 stars, please.
Yeah, so good.
Yay.
Love you guys. Thank you
ya.
for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Catch you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.